All right, let's get into chapter 20. Chapter 20 is titled The Great War. We're talking about World War One, a great war. Don't you love the spin there? What a great war, right? And we have all these new weapons. Not only do we have machine guns, but we have gas masks and toxic gas and whatever else, and gigantic artillery. We have the tank coming in, and of course a whole bunch of airplanes and the U-boats, submarine, all kinds of new ships and whatever, right? So this is going to be a great war. We're going to have a great war here. We got lots of weapons and new ways to kill everybody. Now, we get into this chapter, of course, talking about peace. How interesting, right? They go from the Great War. Well, we can't have a great war unless we have a great attempt at peace. And we see this guy, Alfred Nobel, the founder of the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he puts it in his will or something like that. Wants to recognize men and women who brought about accomplishments to further the cause of peace. And so we should see this as a warning. Oh, well, we know what's coming when they talk of peace. It's biblical, right? Get ready for a war. And so here we go. And let's talk about some of the things going on to bring about war. We have The Hague here, right? This is the Peace Palace in The Hague. The Hague is in Amsterdam, I think, or in the Netherlands anyway. And as you can see, this is designed for peace. So we know it really is. But here we'll see... what do we got? Andrew Carnegie, the great steel mogul Carnegie. He's going to donate all kinds of money, millions of dollars, at least in modern sense, for the construction of this building, which is going to house like the International Court. Oh, we can keep the leaders accountable, things of that sort. And he donates all these funds to build this magnificent building.
My fault. Carnegie donated money to build the Peace Palace. The Peace Palace itself, which you're looking at, is located in a city called The Hague, identified here by the red marker, and you'll see Amsterdam to the northwest. So he donated money to build the Peace Palace. Let's continue.
And of course, I'm always skeptical when I see these kinds of buildings, when were they really built? But let's move on for just a second. Here's a little bit about the Peace Palace, right? It's an international law administrative building in The Hague, which is the Netherlands here. And, we have the International Court of Justice, the Permanent Council of Arbitration, whatever, right? It's got all these fancy things, opened in 1913. And, it's one of these things that we supposedly use to keep peace and whatever, but just the opposite happens. And then a little bit about Andrew Carnegie donating all this money to build it, right? And here we have another picture of this incredible building, if you asked me. I think that this was built long before they tell us. You know how I am. And they just sort of, occupy it. And, yeah, we built it, look at this. What is going on in here? Is this what you build? We want to build a building because we want to house all kinds of international elite, caviar eating, fancy wine drinking, heads of state and whatever other politicians. And we'll bring them here to the lap of luxury so they can do whatever. No, come on. This is a palace, whatever. This is something a king would occupy, in my opinion. And here's a picture of it supposedly under construction. They put up a couple scaffolds, right, and surround a building that looks like it's complete to me, although there's definitely something different here about this tower, I think. If you look at the picture, it looks like this is a tower that's being renovated or under construction. I don't know. I don't buy it, but that's just my own opinion. Maybe they're building it. There's not a whole lot of pictures out there of the construction, and you think 1913... there'd be millions of pictures, from the ground up. Hey, we poured the footing, an incredible palace like this. But no, as always, there's not. Now, let's move on. I'm sorry. We need to go back a little bit into Germany. right? Otto von Bismarck, right? This is the Iron Chancellor. And he is sort of like, when it comes to making alliances, this is the guru. This guy makes alliances everywhere he goes. And when he takes his armies into battle, of course, he's not there. You know how that goes. But they win. Germany, all those Prussian states getting together, becoming unified under his leadership to create what we know as modern-day Germany. Here we have like all these different little kingdoms, all these different little duchies and whatnot. And he's going to unify them. I mean, they're all German. They're all German-speaking people, but they're not unified, and so it causes problems when they're always dealing with France, okay? And this has always been like a historical tension going on. So he's able to finally unify all of them, after they mop the floor with France. Once again, unifies them, and then he goes out of his way. Here comes a tough question. We got to isolate France, right? So he starts building alliance after alliance. Here we have the Bismarck system, you might say, right? And you can see, we want to isolate France, right? So here's Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy, try to get Great Britain, Russia. He wants to get all these nations sort of together against France, right? We build alliances and isolate France. I can't say that enough. Now, that's going to work for a while. We'll see here the creation of the Triple Alliance. Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Okay, we're getting ready to go into World War I. This is the Alliance War, a war of psychopaths, if you asked me. All these leaders at the top, but whatever, right? But we'll see France making overtures, building a relationship with Great Britain. That's not what the Chancellor, the Iron Chancellor, Otto von Bismarck, that's not what he wanted. And we'll also see the reinsurance treaty. Now, this is Germany and Russia, a secret one, okay? So I just want to make sure we talked about some of these things. So Otto von Bismarck has been doing well, making alliances, but we're going to come back to this, the Entente Cordiale. This is France and England. What has happened here? See this Franco-British exhibition, right? Here we have the Iron Chancellor, Otto, and this is Wilhelm II, Wilhelm the King, or the Khazar, or the leader, the monarch of Germany. So he basically outranks him, and he's basically going to push him aside. Right here we have Wilhelm II, and we see him kind of saying goodbye to Otto. Wilhelm thinks he knows more, right? And they paint him in a very negative sort of light, which I can understand. And then we see the alliances really not do that well. Hence the, what was that one? The Entente Cordiale. This will spring up after Bismarck is gone. So Wilhelm kind of messes everything up. Now, I'm going to change gears. We're going down into the Balkan Peninsula, the Balkans, right? Greece down here. All these different ethnicities. And we'll see, this constant tension. They don't get along. This is called the powder keg of Europe. And we'll see World War I begin here. Much of this will be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And we'll see the Archduke assassinated by Serbian terrorists, let's say. And I'm not going to get into that, but this is the powder keg. This is where it ignites and explodes and plunges the world into war. So I want you to be familiar with that. And that's pretty much it, my friends. That ends Chapter 20, Section 1. And we'll move on to the next section.